The day is finally here. It's Christmas Eve, guys! It's Christmas Eve, and for Swedish people, that means presents and dinner and Kalle Anka at 1500 hours on SVT1. And it's Christmas! It's Christmas! It's Christmas! I love it. And we'll jump straight into the last dirty jokes that I have, the last jokes for this advent calendar. What's the difference between Tiger Woods and Santa? Santa was smart enough to stop at 3 hoes. What's Santa's safe sex tip? Wrap your package before shoving it down the chimney. What's the most disappointing thing for a man on Christmas morning? When he gets a sweater, but he's hoping for a screamer or a moaner. Why does Santa land on the roof? Because he likes it on top. Okay, last one. If your left leg is Thanksgiving and your right leg is Christmas, do you mind if I visit between the holidays? Oh, that's nice. Okay, we go to the next part. Well, today I'm going to switch it up a little bit and talk about the Christmas facts first before I jump into the chosen poem. A very special poem for you guys. So I don't want to end like the episode with just... well, I want another order. And since I know you guys in this country like to be number one, what better day to bring forth the facts of your traditions than on Christmas Eve itself. So here's Christmas in the United States of America. The United States of America has many different traditions and ways that people celebrate Christmas because of its multicultural nature. Many customs are similar to ones in UK, France, Italy, the Netherlands, Poland, and Mexico. The traditional meal for Western European families is turkey or ham with cranberry sauce. Families from Eastern European origin favor turkey with trimmings, kielbasi, a Polish sausage, cabbage dishes and soups, and some Italian families prefer lasagna. Some Americans use popcorn threaded on string to help decorate the Christmas tree. Making gingerbread houses is also popular to make and eat at Christmas. I can tell you that it's very popular in Sweden as well. Often we don't eat them though, because they've been in placement for too long. Eggnog is a traditional Christmas drink in the USA. Many Americans, especially Christians, will go to church to celebrate the birth of Jesus at Christmas. Many churches have special Christmas carol services and events where the story of Christmas is told. In New England, the American states of Massachusetts, Connecticut, Rhode Island, Vermont, New Hampshire, and Maine, there are shops called Christmas shops that only sell Christmas decorations and toys all year round. Oh, I would love to visit that. I would love to go there. Americans also send out Christmas cards, likes carol singing, and there's the unusual custom of the Christmas pickle. Yeah, what's this with the Christmas pickle? People in America like to decorate the outside of their houses with lights and sometimes even statues of Santa Claus, snowman, and reindeer. Some cookies and glass of milk are often left out as a snack for Santa on Christmas Eve. Towns and cities then often decorate the streets with lights to celebrate Christmas. Perhaps the most famous Christmas street lights in the USA are at the Rockefeller Center in New York, where there is a huge Christmas tree with a public ice skating rink in front of it over Christmas and the New Year. Okay. In Hawaii, Santa is called Kanakaluka. That song. Kanakaluka. You know that song? Customs such as mumming take place in some communities. On New Year's Day in Philadelphia, there is a Mummers Day parade which lasts over 6 hours. Clubs called New Year's Associations perform in amazing costumes which take months to make. There are 4 categories: comics, fancies, string bands, and fancy brigades, which are judged. You can find out more on the official website www.phillymummers.com, which also goes to another site. In the southwest USA, there are some special customs which have some similarities to those in parts of Mexico. These include luminarias or farolitos, which are paper sacks partly filled with sand and then have a candle put in them. They are lit on Christmas Eve and are put on the edges of paths. They represent lighting the way for somewhere for Mary and Joseph to stay. Actually, we have this thing called marsaller. It's a kind of light in Sweden as well, that burns a lot more sturdy and it can sustain through winds and stuff outside. We often place them, if we have a house, we often place them outside on the path towards the house so that the guests can find their way to the Christmas dinner. And it's not even unusual in the dark ages, I almost said, in the dark season, that we do that for other kinds of festivities as well. Yes, a popular food at Christmas in the southwest USA are tamales. You can find out more about Christmas tradition in the southwest USA on www.lonestarwesternDecor.com/vibrant-christmas-of-southwest.html, which also goes to another site. In the south of Louisiana, on Christmas Eve, families in small communities along the Mississippi River light bonfires along the levees, the high river banks, to help Papa Noel, the name for Santa in French, as Louisiana has a strong historical connection with France, find his way to the children's homes. And please stay tuned. Well, it's time for the poem part of this program today, and I'm gonna read a poem that most should know, I think. I'm not gonna tell which one it is until the end of it, and well, you'll have to guess who wrote it, and yeah, I'll just start. Deep in the grip of the midwinter cold, the stars glitter and sparkle. All are asleep on this lonely farm, deep in the winter night. The pale white moon is a wanderer. Snow gleams white on pine and fir. Snow gleams white on the roofs. But the gnome alone is awake. Grey he stands by the low barn door, grey by the drifted snow, gazing as many winters he's gazed, up at the moon's chill glow, then at the forest where fir and pine circle the farm in a dusky line, moulding relentlessly a riddle that has no key. Rubs his hand through his beard and hair, shakes his head and his cap. No, that question is much too deep. I cannot fathom that. Then making his mind up in a hurry, he shrugs away the annoying worry, turns at his own command, turns to the task at hand, goes to the storehouse and toolshed doors, shaking the locks of all, while the cows dream on in the cold moon's light, summer dreams in each stall, and free of harness and whip and rein, even old Polle dreams again. The manger his drowsing over, brims with fragrant clover. The gnome glances at sheep and lambs, cuddled in quiet rest, The chickens are next, where the rooster roosts, high above straw-filled nests. Burrowed in straw, hardy and hale, Carol wakens and wags his tail, as if to say, "O friend, partners we are to the end." At last the gnome tiptoes in, to see how the housefolk fare. He knows full well the strong esteem they feel for his faithful care. He tiptoes into the children's beds, silently peers at their tousled heads. There is no mistaking his pleasure, there are his greatest treasure. Long generations has he watched, father to son, sleeping as babes, but where, he asked, from where have they come? Families came, families went, blossomed and aged, a lifetime spent. Then where, that riddle again, unanswered in his brain? Slowly he turns to the barnyard loft, his fortress, his home and rest, high in the mow, in the fragrant hay, near to the swallow's nest. The nest is empty, but in the spring, when birds mid leaves and blossoms sing, and come with her tiny mates, then will she talk of the journey tell, twittering to all who hear it, but nary a hint for the question old, that stirs in the gnome's spirit. Now through cracks in the hay-mow wall, the moon lights gnome and hay and all, lights his beard through the chinks. The gnome ponders and thinks. Still is the forest and all the land, looked in the winter year. Only the distant waterfall whispers and sighs in his ear. The gnome listens and, half in dream, thinks that he hears time's endless stream, and wonders, where is it bound? Where is its source to be found? Deep in the grip of the midwinter cold, the stars glitter and sparkle. All are asleep on this lonely farm, late in its winter night. The pale white moon is a wanderer. Snow gleams white on pine and fir. Snow gleams white on the rooms, and the gnome alone is awake. If you're Swedish and good at English, you should have known that this is Tomten by Viktor Rydberg. And I'm just gonna read a small part of the original, since this is YouTube. Maybe I'll post the whole version on YouTube for Swedish viewers. But this is how it sounds in Swedish. Midvinternattens köld är hård. Stjärnorna gnistra och glimma. Alla sova i enslig gård, djupt under midnattstimma. Månen vandrar sin tysta ban. Snön lyser vit på fur och gran. Snön lyser vit på taken. Endast tomten är vaken. Well, that is it for this the poem part of the calendar as well. It's quite sad somehow to end the Advent calendar, but before we're going to do one last part of this episode, so please stay tuned. And now it's some commercial time, not commercial time, but it's, I really appreciate the guys who have been listening through the episodes, or listening, some have been episodes even, or parts of episodes. I'm really, really grateful that you have followed me through, or maybe you are listening next year, 2021, and then I appreciate that as well. But this is a project of mine that is on, amateur level. I don't sit in a studio. I just have my mobile phone recording this, and I do everything manually. I sit with several, windows and click between them and everything like that. So I'm really doing this the old style, kind of, or even older than old style, kind of, as well. But I just want to thank you all for listening, and if you like this video or any other video that I've done, like my covers, you can find my covers at Emma Larsson Singing Covers, and that is what I normally do on YouTube. I also have a lot of interesting playlists as well that is not about me. And also at the same time as doing this advent calendar kind of radio show like program, I've been doing a song advent calendar for 2020 as well. And as you may well know, if you have been listening before this episode, and the first song of this advent calendar day is this one. You get a preview, and it will be in a link in the description at least, and one of the songs will also be put in a link card in the end of this video. Here it is.
Chestnuts roasting on open fire, Jack Frost nipping at your nose, Yuletide carols being sung by a choir that folks dressed up like Eskimos. Everybody knows a turkey and some mistletoe help to make the season bright. Tiny tots with their eyes aglow are finding honestly tonight.
Well, that's the Christmas song, and you can find it on my channel under the playlist Emma Larsson Singing Covers. And the other one for today is this one.
Yourself a merry little Christmas. Let your heart be light. From now on, our troubles will be out of sight.
That is all, folks. I deeply appreciate you for listening, and I may be doing this all over again next year, or I have a different kind of program, probably a different program though. I'm thinking about writing a short Christmas story, actually, that you can follow for each day. And in English, of course, so everybody in the world can follow as long as they know English. And that's my kind of idea for right now. But what remains in the last part of this episode is just to wish you all happy holidays and a Merry Christmas. And I hope you are feeling well and taking care of each other and staying safe and everything. So, Merry Christmas, Feliz Navidad, Joyeux Noël, and in Swedish, God Jul!